Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. Now, George Finch is one of Reform's youngest members. He's the leader of a council. He's 19 years of age. And he's been attacked in the street. He was physically attacked. Now, Nigel Farage is absolutely furious and he's blaming Keir Starmer. He's saying it's the rhetoric that Keir Starmer's been talking about, labelling Reform as the enemy of the people, the enemy of democracy, and all this sort of thing. George Finch was called a racist. There's no evidence that he's a racist. And a fascist. He's certainly not a fascist during this assault, which happened on Friday night. But he's echoing basically the language of the Labour Party and the Greens. They're the ones that call them racist and fascist, even though they are actually neither. Now, Finch himself has claimed that the alleged attacker, let's not say alleged, he was attacked, was wound up and sent into battle, he said, by the dangerous rhetoric and the speeches of Labour and the Greens. He said that Finch and his female friend at the time, who was with him at the time, were physically attacked in Nuneaton. This by a young man. Now, when you have the Prime Minister of a country talking about opposition parties as the enemy, it's no wonder this sort of thing happens. Now, we've seen what happens when you introduce hate into politics. In Scotland, you used to be able to disagree with people. And then Sturgeon came and she said, you can't disagree, you must hate. And she introduced hate into Scottish politics. And that's what happens. You get tribalism. And that's exactly what's happened with Starmer and his brand of hate-filled bullshit, because that's all he's got. He's a very scared, timid, sackless piece of shit who, instead of arguing the points, which he can't, he plays the man. He attacks Farage. Oh, when you get Lammy going, he tinkered with Hitler Youth. What an absolute dickhead Lammy is. But that's exactly the kind of rhetoric that causes things like this. And you build hate rather than discourse. And that is all that the Labour Party know. Whenever there's trouble, whenever there's violence, it's always led by the left. They pretend to be virtuous, but deep down, they're just losers and thugs. And we've seen this on this attack on a young man in Nuneaton. I thank you very much. Goodbye.